The night pressed heavy over the interstate, thick with humidity and the low, endless growl of 18-wheelers. Diesel fumes hung in the air like a curtain, mixing with the sharp scent of burnt coffee from the all-night diner attached to the truck stop. Neon lights flickered over a cracked parking lot, painting everything in tired shades of red and blue. That was where Cody and Rex pulled in, two bikes snarling like angry dogs, chrome glinting beneath the sickly glow. Cody killed his engine first, pulling off his helmet to reveal a narrow face, all sharp angles and bad attitude. His hair was slicked back, his eyes red-rimmed from the road and maybe something stronger. Rex followed suit, heavier, broader, tattoos climbing his neck like ivy. He spat on the asphalt, the sound sharp in the quiet, and grinned at Cody. "See him," he said, jerking his chin toward the man by the fuel pumps. The guy they were watching stood alone beside a massive Peterbilt truck, its engine idling like a beast at rest. He wasn't doing anything flashy, just sipping from a paper cup, shoulders relaxed, eyes scanning the horizon as if waiting for something that wasn't coming. His jacket caught the biker's attention. Old army issue, faded and torn at the cuffs, with a patch barely visible in the dim light. His hair was peppered with gray, his stance easy, the kind of stillness that comes from someone comfortable with silence. "Yeah," Cody said, smirking. "That's him. Old man's got the look." "Bet he's the one." "The poker guy?" Rex asked. "Yep. Heard he cleaned up last night at the Lucky 8 over in Jasper. Said he was passing through, heading west." Rex's grin widened. "Then he's carrying cash, and not the kind you keep in a wallet." They sat there for a minute, pretending to check their phones, watching him. Every now and then, a truck rumbled past, drowning out their whispers. The man by the pumps didn't look their way once. He finished his coffee, tossed the cup into a trash can with careful aim, then stretched, a slow, deliberate movement that made the muscles in his arms shift under the worn fabric of his jacket. "Easy pickings," Cody muttered. Rex chuckled. Old-timer won't know what hit him. But something about the man didn't quite fit the picture they'd painted. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't glancing around like someone guarding a secret stash of money. There was a steadiness about him, like a stone in the current. Still, greed dulled instincts faster than whiskey, and the bikers were already in motion. They parked their bikes near the edge of the lot and started walking. Their boots echoed against the concrete, a slow, confident rhythm meant to announce their presence. Cody's hand brushed the outline of the switchblade in his pocket, just a touch for reassurance. Rex cracked his knuckles, already tasting the adrenaline in the back of his throat. The man noticed them as they got close, not with surprise, not with fear, but with mild interest, as though he were used to people approaching him in the middle of nowhere. His gaze flicked over their leather jackets, the patches, the swagger. Then he turned back to his truck, checked the fuel gauge, and said nothing. "Evenin'," Cody called out. His voice carried the false warmth of someone who's about to do something stupid. The man nodded once. "Evenin'." Rex stepped a little closer, his grin stretching too wide. "Nice rig you got there." "Thank you." "Travelin' alone?" The man looked at them then, straight and steady. "Seems that way." There was something in his tone. Not defensive, not challenging, but solid. Like steel under calm water. Cody felt it, a flicker of doubt, but he buried it under a smirk. "World's a rough place," he said. "Lot of bad folks out this way." The man's eyes didn't waver. "Ain't that the truth?" They stood there for a heartbeat too long. The trucks kept coming and going, hissing air brakes and flashing headlights, but in that small circle of light by the pumps, time stretched thin. Rex's fingers twitched toward his pocket. The man saw it. Cody knew he saw it, but he didn't flinch. He just reached for his keys, slow and easy, as if to unlock the truck door. Cody leaned toward Rex and whispered, "We wait till he turns." "Quick and clean." Rex nodded, jaw tight with excitement. The man opened the door, tossed a duffel bag onto the seat, and looked back at them one last time. His eyes lingered, calm, assessing, before he climbed in. The truck's headlights came on, washing the lot in white. Cody and Rex turned away, pretending to light cigarettes, watching from the corner of their eyes as the engine rumbled. Then the truck didn't move. The man just sat there, hands on the wheel, engine idling. Watching them in the mirrors. Cody shifted his weight. "He's stalling." Rex shrugged. "Fine by me. Easier when he steps out again." They didn't notice the faint smile playing at the corner of the veteran's mouth, the kind of smile that belongs to someone who already knows how this night will end. The truck stop faded into the dark behind them, its neon lights shrinking to a dull glow in the rearview mirrors. The road ahead stretched long and empty, the hum of the tires blending with the low growl of the engine. Cody sat in the passenger seat, pretending to be relaxed, but his mind was working fast. The plan had shifted when the old man, no, the veteran, had motioned for them to hop in, saying something about needing a quick ride into town. Cody hadn't expected that, but he'd played along. Easy enough to take the money once they stopped. Rex followed behind on his bike, his headlight a single bright eye in the dark. The veteran didn't say much at first. He drove with both hands steady on the wheel, eyes fixed on the road, posture straight. The cab smelled faintly of coffee, oil, and something metallic, like gun cleaner. A worn photo was clipped to the dash, two young soldiers in desert camo, grinning at the camera. The edges were frayed, like it had been there a long time. "So," Cody began, forcing a casual tone, "you do long hauls often?" "Used to," the man said. His voice was deep but calm, with that quiet authority that didn't need volume to fill the space. "Now I pick my routes. Independent, huh, something like that." Silence settled again, heavy and strange. Cody could feel the tension sitting between them like an extra passenger. He tried to study the man's face. Dark skin lined by years and weather, eyes sharp and clear, not the vacant look Cody expected from an old driver. His hands were strong, the kind that had done real work, not just held a steering wheel. Rex's headlight shifted behind them, closing in. Cody turned slightly, pretending to stretch, and caught a glimpse of the biker's silhouette. The plan was simple. Once they reached the next gas station or a rest stop, they'd corner the guy, take whatever he had, and be gone before anyone noticed. They'd done it before. Not crowd work, but easy. Usually. "You from around here?" Cody asked. The veteran gave a small chuckle. "Nowhere in particular. Been a while since I called any place home." "Yeah, I get that." Cody forced a grin. "I move around too. Not by choice, I'd guess." Cody blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" The man turned his head just slightly, enough for Cody to see a flicker of amusement. "You've got that look. Someone who's always running from something. People like that don't stay still long." It wasn't an insult, just an observation. That somehow made it worse. Cody looked away, jaw tightening. Maybe I just like the road, or maybe it's the only place that doesn't ask questions. For a while, neither of them spoke. The hum of the tires filled the silence again, and Cody found himself glancing at the veteran's hands, steady on the wheel, no hesitation, no twitch. He was too calm, too aware. It made Cody uneasy. "You serve?" Cody asked, nodding toward the patch on the man's sleeve. "Long time ago. Army. Airborne." Cody gave a short laugh. "Figures. My old man was Army too. Didn't last long, though." The man glanced at him. "Didn't last, meaning, drank himself out of it," Cody said flatly. "Guess he wasn't cut out for discipline." The veteran's eyes softened a little. "That's a hard thing to live with." "Yeah, well, I'm doing fine." But he wasn't. The words tasted false even as he said them. He looked out the window at the dark fields rushing past. Rex was still behind them, a constant shadow. "You got someone waiting for you?" The veteran asked suddenly. "What? Someone waiting when you get where you're going?" Cody hesitated. "Nah, not really." "Then you might want to change that someday," the man said, his tone matter of fact. A man without something to come home to starts thinking every fight is his last. Cody stared at him, unsure how to respond. It wasn't a threat. It sounded like advice, but it landed with the weight of both. A few miles later, the veteran slowed the truck and pulled into a wide turnout by the road. Gravel crunched under the tires. Rex rolled up beside them, engine idling, waiting for the signal. Cody's pulse kicked up. This was it. The man turned off the ignition, the sudden quiet almost deafening. He reached for his coffee thermos, took a sip, then looked at Cody. "You've been watching me since the truck stopped," he said evenly. "And your buddy back there's been tailing us the whole time." Cody froze. "What are you talking about?" The veteran smiled, not kindly but not cruelly either. "Son, I've been in convoys through hostile territory. You think I don't notice when I'm being followed? Rex dismounted, ready to move, but the veteran didn't flinch. He opened the driver's door slowly and stepped out, his boots crunching on gravel. Cody followed, heart hammering. The night air was cool, sharp. The veteran looked from one man to the other, his expression unreadable. You boys really want to do this here? Cody swallowed hard. He felt Rex beside him, restless, hand twitching near his pocket. The veteran's stance shifted. Subtle, almost lazy, but Cody recognized something in it. It wasn't fear, it was readiness. For the first time that night, Cody wondered if they'd picked the wrong man to mess with. Gravel crunched beneath their boots, and the smell of hot engine metal filled the air. The road was empty except for the truck, Rex's bike, and the heavy silence that had settled between the three men. The night sky was a deep, bruised blue, and the only sound was the soft ticking of the truck's cooling engine. Cody felt his pulse in his ears. Every instinct screamed that this wasn't going to go the way they'd planned. The veteran stood with his hands at his sides, calm as stone. His eyes flicked between the two bikers, reading them the way a man might read terrain before a firefight. You've got a choice, he said quietly. Walk away now, or find out how bad of a mistake you've made. Rex laughed, a hard, nervous sound that cracked the stillness. You think you're scarring us, old man. He stepped forward, pulling his knife. The blade gleamed in the moonlight, trembling slightly in his grip. I've taken down bigger guys than you. The veteran didn't move. No, he said, voice low. You've taken down men who were afraid to fight back. Cody glanced at Rex. He could see the tension in his partner's jaw, the sweat gathering along his temple. He wanted to tell him to slow down, to think, but Rex was already closing the gap. He lunged. It happened faster than Cody could process. One heartbeat, Rex was swinging. The next, he was on the ground, gasping, knife skittering across the gravel. The veteran hadn't even broken a sweat. He'd sidestepped, caught Rex's wrist, twisted, and used his own momentum against him. The movement was precise, practiced, military. Cody's throat went dry. Hey, man, easy. He said, backing up a step, palms raised. We don't want any trouble. Too late, the veteran said, his voice even. You brought it with you. Rex groaned, clutching his wrist. The veteran kicked the knife out of reach, then turned his gaze to Cody. His eyes were steady, dark, and cold. You the smart one, or the loud one? Cody swallowed hard. Look, it was just a misunderstanding. We thought you were someone else. Someone easier. There was no mockery in his tone, just quiet disappointment. That stung worse than anger. Cody looked at Rex, who was struggling to get up, then back at the veteran. He knew when a fight was lost. We'll go, he said quickly. No harm done. The man studied him for a long moment, then nodded once. Do that. But Rex couldn't let it go. Maybe it was pride, maybe the pain, maybe just stupidity, but he lunged again, this time with a snarl. The veteran's patience snapped like a taut wire. He moved in a blur. A sharp elbow, a twist, a shove. Rex hit the side of his bike, the machine toppling over with a crash. Cody jumped back as the veteran's gaze locked on him again. You done? The man asked. Cody nodded so fast his neck hurt. Yeah, we're done. The veteran crouched, picked up the knife, and tossed it into the ditch. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a wallet, not his own, but Rex's. He'd taken it during the scuffle without either of them noticing. He flipped it open and glanced inside. Guessing you've got a record, he said. Petty theft, maybe assault. Rex groaned from the ground. Cody said nothing. He just stared, frozen, as the man tossed the wallet back at them. You want to change where that road leads, he said, then stop picking fights with people who've already fought enough. The sound of tires on asphalt broke the silence. Headlights appeared down the highway, a patrol car. The veteran didn't move. He just stepped back, arms crossed, as the cruiser pulled up, red and blue lights flashing across the lot. The deputy stepped out, hand near his holster. Everything all right here, sir? He asked, eyeing the scene, the overturned bike, the two battered men, the calm veteran standing nearby. The older man nodded once. Just a misunderstanding. These two were leaving. The deputy looked at Cody, then Rex, then back at the veteran. That true. Cody hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, he said quietly. We're leaving. The deputy narrowed his eyes but didn't push it. All right then. Keep it that way. He gave the veteran a respectful nod before heading back to his cruiser. As the car drove off, the veteran turned back toward his truck. He opened the door, paused, and looked at the two of them. You boys ought to remember something, he said. The world's got enough enemies without you trying to be one. He climbed in, started the engine, and pulled onto the highway. The roar of the diesel faded into the night, leaving only dust and silence behind. Rex sat up slowly, wincing. Man, he muttered, voice hoarse. Who the hell was that guy? Cody didn't answer right away. He just watched the taillights disappear into the dark, a strange mix of fear and respect knotting in his chest. Then, finally, he spoke. The wrong man, he said. We picked the wrong damn man. They stood there for a while, the sound of the highway humming in the distance, the smell of fuel and shame thick in the air. And for the first time in a long time, Cody wondered what it would feel like to stop running, before he ended up crossing paths with someone like that again.